time is very limited, so I have to conclude very early. So I'm trying my level best. So there are two pictures. You might know this. One is finger millet, another is foxtail millet. And one of our best farmers is present here, Bhairav Saini. He is conserving a lot of millet varieties and characterizing these millets. Now we find the references of millet in our old texts, even in Kautilya, in Aini Akbari, Vigyan Shakuntalam, everywhere we find it. So it's not new in India. So there are the pictures, Onesicritus. He was the Senapati of Alexander the Great, who was very surprised to see this type of crop, bajra, and he took bajra with him. And then you see Guru Nanak used to take kutki and kodo, and this is popular in several gurudwaras. Rana Pratap used to take one particular millet and during his exile days. Now more than 130 countries are cultivating millet, and 60 crores of people of India and Asian African countries they are consuming. The average yield is 1.2 to 1.5 ton per hectare, but average yield of rice as per Government of India's data is 2.8 ton per hectare. 2.8 ton per hectare average yield, but we find more than 4 or 5 ton per hectare of rice in several areas, though it is grown with chemical fertilizers and pesticides. But through organic management, we can increase the yield of ragi from nearly 4 ton per hectare, is close to rice, and its photosynthetic ability is more than rice and wheat, because it can photosynthesize during high temperature. So it is called C4 plants. And 55% of land is cultivated under rain-fed, and 50% food comes from rain-fed farming, and millet belongs to rain-fed farming. Now, we have heard a lot about the good qualities of millet, and Professor Rintu Banerjee has explained the anti-nutrient properties. But I can tell you one thing, that if you start eating millet right now, you may face some problem, because of the gut biome is not at all prepared to accept this new food, because our gut biome is fully equipped with that biomes, that bacteria can digest wheat and rice, but not millet. So it takes time to digest. So slowly you have to adjust yourself. So once upon a time, all on a sudden, if you consume all these things, so you may face some problems, because it needs some adjustment. So now rice, if you take rice, it has no allergic properties, no anti-nutrient, easy to digest. And for wheat, it has some gluten allergy and gluten problems. So though it is associated with one weedicide called glyphosate, and we say that millet is nutri-cereals. But you see, the government recommendations are there. They are applying chemical fertilizers and pesticides in their fields. So if you apply chemical fertilizers and pesticides in your field, millet field, so how do you call it nutri-cereals? Because it's all pesticide residues are there in your millet. So you cannot say it is a nutri-cereals, provided it is grown under natural farming condition. Now, it can well adapt with the climatic aberration, low rainfall areas. And one very typical thing is that if you consume 100 gram of rice, you cannot consume 100 gram of millet, and because it's a volume expansion. And the millet, there is no problem of storing millet. and there is no problem of ragi processing, and it can be cultivated during Kharif and Rabi season. And barnyard millet, you can find barnyard millet in rice field also. This is a typical millet, though there are several varieties are there. It is used, Dr. Rintu Banerjee has properly explained, it is used for arthritis, diabetes and heart diseases as low glycemic index. But one thing I must tell you, my personal experience or the scientific experience, whatever you say, that low glycemic index, suppose a particular rice has high glycemic index, for example 50 or so, or 60 glycemic index. But if you consume rice along with protein, so the ultimate glycemic index would be low in your gut. So if you consume this calculation of low glycemic index is based on the pure form of carbohydrate, that is rice or sugar, whatever you say. But it is, we do not consume particular rice with salt. We eat it with vegetables, proteins, meat, etc. So only glycemic index is not the be all and end all. This less is more. I am going to explain it. You see, this is a rice. You find more than 25 rice grains are there, but over there you find the ragi. So how many ragi seeds are there? Maybe 200. So one example I can tell you that nearly 17 millets is equal to one single bold grain of rice. So less is more here. So that means, so I have already explained, if you consume 100 gram of rice, you cannot consume 100 gram of millet. So it saves water. Now, millet and dryland agriculture. Millet produces more grains than rice, so it's same amount of water. Straw of kodo millet plus paddy husk and soil is used for house building. No termite and insect attack you will find. Proteins and minerals are 5 times nutritious straw than paddy straw. Root volume of jowar and bajra greater than rice. 10 times and 2 times more, the root volume. The 50% carbon of root, the food for soil microbes. The food for animals that I have already explained. Water per acre inch, I have already explained, it consumes less water in comparison to rice and wheat. Now you have already, Dr. Rintu Banerjee has already explained the types of millets. There are some examples are there, but I am going to tell you a typical millet that is not discussed in general. This is called job steer. This is Quix lacrima jobi. Lacrima means a lacrimal gland of our eyes. This lacrima, Quix lacrima, it is called job steer. Job, one Christian saint was there, job steer in his name, and it is used in northeast India, in Manipur and Myanmar. It contains highest amount of protein among the millets. And we have more than 26,000 jowar and bajra varieties, and other millets are 19,000. So last year it was declared International Year of Millet, but we think, I doubt that these varieties are still exist. I think in several pockets of India, that if you stress much on this millet cultivation, so and there is chance of introduction of high yielding or hybrid millet varieties grown with chemical fertilizers. So is just like chemically grown rice and wheat. So we may reduce our biodiversity of millets. I apprehend. So these are the millets, barnyard millet. One is shama, then is ragi or finger millet, then proso millet, then little millet, kaun, foxtail millet, then jowar, you find bajra, now kodo, and this is job steer. This is job steer, the last one. The middle one, job steer. It is found in South 24 Parganas also. These are the millets, the foxtail, and these are the wild relatives of millets. And the millet processing is a problematic. Some dehuller mixie is used for kodo, brown top, barnyard, and little millet and proso millet. It needs to be processed. And there are a lot of biscuits in the market. Have you checked the content of the biscuit? You will find finger millet 5% and 95% is atta or maida maybe. So all it's a ploy, this is a finger millet biscuits, and you will find 5% of finger millet and 95% of maida or atta, whatever is there. The people are confusing. Now more food for gut biome. I have already explained the gut biome. The concept of gut biome is little discussed in our medical fraternities because the gut biome is the new concept. The total bacteria, more than 3 trillion bacteria are in our gut, their stomach. It has different roles. It gives our immunity, it digests food, and it repairs some functions or some problematic areas of our body, and it gives immunity. So if you destroy gut biome through antibiotic, so our immunity will go down. But if you consume millet, slowly, if you are habituated, so your gut biome will be, it takes time to build a new gut biome. Now if you have seen a lot of advertisement in television that if a woman attains an age of 30 and his spine, এটা বাংলায় বললে ভালো হয় যে ঝুরঝুর করে ঝরে পড়ছে, এবং that's why you need extra calcium or like that for Horlicks. But that calcium is not accepted in your body because of the foreign body. And for ragi, yes, ragi contains 344 milligram of calcium, highest calcium in millet, in any food, but we are not recommending it. Even the fortification is there, but we are not recommending this the millets. Availability of more calcium, yes, I am concluding. Bioavailability of iron is also rich in comparison to other. I have compared the different millets. More folate, you see, and different millets are there. More beta carotene. Beta carotene means vitamin A. So you will find the highest amount of beta carotene in pearl millet, that means bajra. More iodine, you find more iodine in foxtail millet, and this is ragi. And there is a concept of multigrain. You cannot keep the grains intact in your house, so it will not serve your purpose. So it has to be consumed as early as possible. So multigrain, you bought your multigrain atta and you are keeping it in your house for 7 days, 10 days, so this quality will go down. This is ragi, finger millet. This is cultivation aspect. I am not going to talk about this thing. So I think I have concluded. So my acknowledgement is there. Jacob Nalithanam, Shomik Banerjee, Bhairav Shaini, and these are the millets. So thank you very much. Thank you all.